Good. Okay, you know HTML. Good. Okay, cool. So in our course, right, we're gonna start the basics of HTML and CSS and JavaScript. Okay, so we'll see how we can get started. Okay, but to learn React.js, right, the prerequisites are what? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, so JavaScript point of view, right? You need to know about in depth of a JavaScript, how it works. Nothing but in concept wise, functional programming. What is functional programming? How it works? Okay, what is a higher order function? Okay, so what is the callback function? Closures. A lot of interesting stuff which is required. So those part, right, we will discuss in our session. Okay, fine. So the prerequisites tools, nothing but right to learn our React JS. So we need to install a couple of our softwares to write our code also, right? We used to go with these tools. What are those? VS Code, Node.js, and Git. Okay, VS Code, Node.js, and Git. So VS Code is one of our editor, okay, which we widely use as a front-end developer or as a UI developer. Okay, so we'll install that and we'll start using that code. Okay, as well as right, so to install our React.js, right, we require to know about what is Node.js, how to install all the steps, right, which we're gonna discuss. So why we need a Git? Because so by using a Git.js, right, sorry, by using a Git, not it's a JS, it's a Git is a software. So where we can maintain a version control in a real time, right, to share a data or to share a code between one developer to another developer, we used to go with a Git. Okay, as well as it has a many of a functionality where it can maintain a version control, as well as the history, who did the changes, okay, everything, right, it will maintain. We will discuss that one also. Okay, so as part of our course, right, we're gonna discuss how to use the GitHub also. Okay, because so anyone from a fresher background who want to add some experience and enter into IT. Yep. So please respond, guys. Let's make this session is more interactive. Okay. So it's online session, guys. When it is online session, I don't know how active you are. Okay. So that's the reason. Please respond to my questions. Make a note. Okay. So respond it. That's simple. Cool. Right. What are the content which we're gonna discuss? Okay. So content wise, right? Anyhow, so I'll share the list of the concept what we're gonna discuss. Okay, as well as right, we have WhatsApp group. So please join in that to get the latest updates. I'll share in a chat. And I think someone shared in a chat. You can go through it. This is the link. Okay, what you need to join. Anyhow, I'll share it. So please join in this chat. Okay, so where you'll share the course content. Okay, what we're gonna learn. Okay, how we're going to learn. So everything, right, we're gonna discuss. Okay, cool. So what are the concepts which we're gonna discuss? So we're gonna discuss core Java or core JavaScript to advanced JavaScript. Okay, anyone have a knowledge on a JavaScript?
Awesome.
Okay,
I
good,
also
good,
have some.
good response, guys. Please respond in a similar way. Okay, so so we'll start with the core JavaScript, nothing but the basics of a JavaScript. So when we are discussing a JavaScript, right? So we're gonna see what is JavaScript, what is the importance of JavaScript, what are the frameworks built on top of a JavaScript, okay, which is widely used. Okay, if you want to build your own framework, what are the architecture you need to follow? Those what we're gonna discuss and dig into more into advanced JavaScript. What does mean of advanced JavaScript? Asynchronous programming, okay, and functional programming, okay, object oriented programming, those all we'll discuss. So not only discussing, guys, so we're gonna see projects, okay, the real-time projects, right, which we're gonna learn. So in that way we're gonna discuss. Okay, so once we are done with that, right, we're gonna discuss TypeScript. Anyone ever on a TypeScript? What is TypeScript? Anyone?
It's a superset of JavaScript. We can say
Yep.
that.
Yes, superset of a JavaScript, and which will give a add-on to your JavaScript, especially with types, especially with types. Okay, what is advantage of a types? Okay, why we need to use this TypeScript? Is there anything add on in a TypeScript? Those what we're gonna cover. Okay, in the sense, so we'll start from a HTML, Java, CSS, JavaScript, and then we'll slowly move into more in depth of a JavaScript. Once we are done, we'll see a limitations of a JavaScript. Okay, then we'll discuss about TypeScript. Once you are done with that, right, we do a project. So once you are good, then we'll enter into what? React JS. Okay, so before that, right, so I'll take a session on a GitHub how we real time works. Okay, anybody ever on a GitHub? What is GitHub? Why we it is the important? Why we need to use it?
So can you show us the repository purpose? We can
Yep.
track the projects.
Yes. Okay, it's a repository. Okay, where everyone push the code into our repository in a real time, right? We use that. Okay, so we will discuss that even in our course, right? So I'll share the code by using GitHub only, so that you have a experience on a GitHub, so that you can add in your resume. Yes, I have a knowledge on GitHub. I worked as a real time. This is the what. Okay, that's what we're gonna discuss. Once we are done, right, we're gonna start our React JS. So which version we're gonna discuss? 18th version. Okay, so whatever latest features in terms of hooks, okay, our class component, functional component, what is the importance of it, everything we're gonna use it. Okay, and once we are done, the step by step process, guys, which I'm going to tell. So we learn material UI and how to build a single page application. Yes, Sandeep, yes, we will discuss oops also, object oriented programming. Okay, by using TypeScript we'll discuss, by using JavaScript we'll discuss. Okay, so what is difference between JavaScript oops and TypeScript oops? So when you go with the JavaScript tools, right? So you need to discuss about prototype kind of approach. Okay, when you go with the TypeScript oops, you will discuss class-based one. That means how we work as in a Java or .NET, the class syntax, right? In that way, we're gonna discuss. Okay,
Okay, we are
cool.
going to we are going into deep, right? Deep.
We are going into deep.
Okay, sure, sure.
Okay, see guys, so everything is into real time because as I'm working in employee, so we're going to discuss in depth. Okay, as well as it's a project based one. Okay, it's not only discussing a theory and do a couple of examples, not like that. Okay, I'll show you the existing batch how we are going on. If you see, right, this is how we created a projects. Okay, so I already run it here. I'll show you now. So we'll see how the design we need to do it also. Okay, by using a draw.io, what is the architecture of a project. Okay, how we need to build a project. So we will discuss and we'll start work on. So this is the one project which is developed by one of a student. Okay, we just started a project. One guy developed a login page and sign up page. Okay, by using what? Material UI along with React. Okay, along with React single page application. You see the page is not refreshing. When I click on a sign up, page is not refreshing. We got a data. Okay, and this is another project which is developed by other person. Okay, and this is e-commerce kind of a project. So we'll show you the list of products here. When we click on see more, we'll navigate to product details page. Okay, this is developed by students, not by me. Okay, because so once we discuss, right, so you guys need to be and compatible and have a knowledge to develop a project. Okay, that's the agenda. By the end of this course, right, you guys supposed to have an experience. Yes, I can develop a project. At least you should capable of 2 years of experience on your React JS. Okay, cool. So in our course, right, we're gonna discuss everything in a real time. This is a one of a project what we build it. Okay, so by using a Redux, that means, so what is expectation, guys? When you click on a add to cart, so in a cart, cart drop down, we need to show the whatever product which we added, right? So when we click on add to cart, you see we're getting a toasters. Okay, so as well as we'll see a products which are added in a cart. Okay, so as part of our Redux discussion, right, so we build this project. Okay, so and when we're discussing a single page application, so we build this kind of a project. Okay, so this is a project where alternative for your resume, nothing but we used to build like 2 pages or 3 pages of resume which contains all our data, right? Instead of that, let's go ahead with the website. Okay, in the sense you can go build a website. Your website, you can mention what about your skills. Okay, whatever, how strong you are. Let's say in Angular you are into 80% of knowledge. Let's say React you have a 70% of knowledge. In that way you can mention your resume. So front end technologies, back end technology which you aware on. Let's say if you would like to go as full stack developer, so list of a project which you worked on. Okay, if you click on, right, see the project details about. Okay, what are the technology covered, what is your roles and responsibilities, and contact us. Okay, so this kind of a project, right, which we will build. So not only this, its course is what purely opinionated, guys. Okay, what does mean of opinionated? Let's say Venkat, so as part of a single page application, let's build something else instead of this resume. I'm open for it. Okay, because so everything which we're gonna discuss is purely on what, your interest. Okay, and it's an interactive session. So not only what I'm going to tell, it's not a teaching, it's a discussion. Okay, sometimes I might get stuck because we're gonna do a live coding. Okay, live coding nothing but, we'll start a coding from a scratch. Okay, we'll take a use case and get work. Okay, that's how we're gonna discuss. Okay, when coming to HTML CSS, right, we build this website. So you see, by discussing this, no, while discussing with the HTML CSS, we design this project. Okay, so everything is purely on project basis and it's opinionated, nothing but let's take a use case, something else, we are okay. Okay, in that way our codes will get drive. Okay, so next one, right, so we're going to discuss Redux also. Okay, Redux is one of our state management, okay, library, which will help to share a data from one component to another component. So we see in a use case, right, so in a React cart tab, when you click on add to cart, this data are supposed to shown in this drop down. So this is the one component, this is the one component. When you click on add to cart, how it is going to be add? Okay, what is the library which we required, or can we issue with our own React JS? Yes. Okay, then why we need to go with Redux? What is the advantage of going with Redux? That is what we're going to discuss, in the sense, our course containing in a such way. So we're going to discuss the topic, pros and cons of the particular topic. Is there any better way to implement the same logic? Okay, in that way we're going to discuss. Okay, we're going to see a unit testing also. What is unit testing? What is importance of unit testing? Okay, when you are building any of a, production ready application, the quality also important, not what you write. Okay, so that means whenever we build an application, the quality also matters. What is the quality? How are we going to improve the quality by using unit testing? We're going to discuss. Okay, and once we developed an application, we need to make it ready for deployment. That means, so in a market, right, so we have a micro front end or legacy applications. Okay, or different type of applications, how we going to deploy those? Okay, when we are building with the React application, so we'll see. So as well as, right, we're going to see, how to dockerize your React application. Okay, that means we're going to discuss about Docker also. Okay, and once we are done, right, we're going to discuss about Next.js. What is Next.js? Okay, so that means when you are building a React application, right, there's a two types of rendering: client side rendering and server side rendering. What is this client side rendering and server side rendering? Okay, what is advantage of the server side rendering? We will discuss when we are starting a discussion on Next.js. Okay, and you can create a project or React project, right, by using a two third-party modules. One is that, so white, another one is a CRA, create React app. Based on, your opinion, okay, which one you would like to go ahead, so accordingly we can move on. Okay, so in the market, right, this both are, widely used, but especially CRA is much widely used. Okay, but recent days, right, so people are starting using this white also. Okay, what is this white and how it works, that is also we're gonna see. Okay, and one extra thing, right, as in the current batch I would like to discuss, so either Node.js or React.js. Okay, any of a one. Okay, so it's again to you, so it's a purely opinionated, right? So which one you would like to discuss, or which one will help you for your career? Okay, if you suggest me, right, that one which we're gonna discuss. So before that, right, before taking your opinion, so first of all, how we gonna discuss? Okay, what is our course duration, as well as, so how you can plan, that's all about this. That means, so it's a purely interactive, guys. Okay, you can ask, okay, whenever you have a question. Okay, so that's how we're gonna discuss, and it's a 2 months of a course. That means, let's say if we started today, so we'll try to wrap up on a day or before itself. Okay, because you might have your own commitments, right? So that's the reason, right, so we stick to with the timeline. But sometimes we'll get extend, it's again based on your interest. That means, let's say at the end of a course, if you'd like to discuss on interview questions point of view, or if you'd like to do a project. Okay, so in that case, right, it can be extended, but the concept what we targeted, right, that will get covered. Okay, and next thing, right? So we will discuss Monday to Friday new concept. Okay, so let's say from a morning 7:30 to 8:30, we will discuss new concept from Monday to Friday. Okay, let's say we started React JS, or let's say we started JavaScript, everything. So, and in the Saturday, right, whichever comfortable time for us. Okay, so again, that would be opinionated. We'll take inputs from you. We can have a session on that particular time. It's a 2 to 3 hours of a session. Whatever we discuss from Monday to Friday, we will discuss with the different use cases. As I told you, it's a purely real time, right? So not only discussing on a concept wise, that need to be used in a real-time projects. So what are the projects and how we gonna use in a real time? That part we're gonna discuss. Let's say if you don't have anything to discuss, then what we do, we'll discuss other concepts or other real-time tools. Nothing but GitHub we can discuss, or Agile or Scrum. Okay, what is Agile, how it works. Okay, those kind of a real-time things, right? Whatever based on your interest, we're gonna discuss. Okay, and Saturday it's a purely recap session or the new concept, and Sunday is about project. Okay, Sunday also we can contain a session. It's again so based on everyone out. Okay, let's say we are overlapped, okay, or we are already existed with the new concept, then we can take off. Okay, so but Sunday would be it's a more of a project session. Whatever we discussed so far, right, we can create a project. Okay, that's how our course is working on. Okay, any questions so far?
Do we need to know the data structure to create a
Uh, y-
complex
your
web
voice is breaking, Karthik. Can you please repeat?
application?
Sorry.
Can you
Still it is breaking, but no problem. Tell me.
do we need to know data structures and algorithm to build a
Eh,
complex application?
no, no, no. We are not going to discuss data structures or algorithms. Okay. So we will discuss architecture of a project. Okay. So one of a batch, right? We will discuss this folder structure. Let's say if you plan this kind of a project, what is a folder structure? Okay, we need to split into components, we need to split into containers. Okay, utils, if you go with Redux, right, what is that? Okay, in that way we will discuss. Okay, good,
Yeah.
fine. So course fee point of view, guys, it's a 8,000 of a course which will contain the recorded videos for a 1 year validity. Okay, so if you want to register for this course, right, you can do your registration with this link. Okay, as well as right, join in this WhatsApp group. Anyhow, I'm sharing the whole content to you. Okay, so to get updates, our course updates, our course content, right, join in an above WhatsApp group. Okay, you will get it, the course content and everything. Any questions?
In Redux, what we are going to discuss, it is Redux toolkit or any other thing?
we
Tunk
gonna
or
we use both. We use the Tank, and we are not going to discuss Saga is
okay.
now see, if you want we can discuss. It's nothing stopping for us.
No,
Okay,
Redux toolkit we will discuss, right?
we will discuss Redux. Everything is latest. That means,
Yeah,
previously, right, we used to go with Redux Saga. Okay, Redux Tank we're gonna use, but now, right? So when we are setting a new project, I'm using Redux Toolkit. Okay,
yeah,
that's the
that is
reason we
fine.
use. And unit testing also. Earlier we used to write a just an enzyme. Okay,
Yeah,
now so the Redux testing library is there, right? So we're gonna write a unit test cases with the help of just and testing library. So
oh,
everything as per the latest market.
latest market. And another thing is like we are going to build projects on TypeScript as well, right? React based.
Yes, yes. So we're gonna build a project, especially on a TypeScript. Okay.
Okay.
So if you have a interest to develop a project on a JavaScript, yes, I'm open. We can go in that way also. But the person who is compatible for a TypeScript, right, they can go ahead with a JavaScript also, because
Yeah.
the the project what we build on a TypeScript, which is nothing but your JavaScript only. But
Yes,
if
yes,
you
yes.
want to get some clarity, no problem. We can build a project on JavaScript also.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Please interactive. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay, I have a couple of questions. Okay, so which is frequently asked, others people. Okay, first of all, what is React? Anyone? What is React in your version? So why do you want to?
JavaScript library.
Okay, JavaScript library. Any other people? What is what is React JS? Why you want to learn?
To build single page applications.
Okay, okay. You can tell GK or Karthik.
Yeah, we can use the components, reuse them.
Reusable components. Okay,
Yeah,
Karthik, tell me.
React is a JavaScript library which is used for creating the user interfaces.
User interfaces. Good. Priyanka. Yeah, funny. Tell me.
We can develop both large scale and mobile applications too.
Yes, good. Any other inputs, guys? So what is your agenda? What is your motto to learn React JS?
To become a front-end developer.
To become front-end developer. Good. Okay.
To become full stack developer.
Uh,
Yes,
full
that's
stack
good.
developer.
So our motto is to create the user interfaces.
To create a user interfaces. Good. Okay. Any other guys? Any other points? Okay, because so when you're coming to these codes, you might have different expectation from this course, right? So you can ask me what is your expectations. Okay, based on that, right? We can update our course content. It's not specific to what I'm going to teach. Okay, it's again based on your interest. If you want to add something, yes. Okay, we have supply for course content we can discuss. But if you have any other pointers, okay, I'm open for it. Okay, because so it's an online course. Okay, and it's an interactive session. If you want specifically something, right, you can get it from a YouTube also. Okay, when you're coming to the session, it's okay, let's make it more interactive and meet your expectation. Cool. Yep, as someone said, right, your motto is to get a full stack developer, to get a more interactive websites, okay, to become a front-end developer. Yes. Okay, so by the end of this course, as I told you, right, you guys supposed to be hands-on experience which is capable of or handle the interview point of at least 1 to 2 years of experience, not more than that. Okay, so you can add in your resume, but interview point, right, it gets bit tricky. That's the reason. Okay, we will discuss whenever we are discussing any concept, right? Usually I'll take interviews also. What are the interview questions which we're gonna ask at particular topic, what we're gonna discuss? Okay, let's say usually, right, I'll ask a simple question. Okay, if we started an interview, right? So what is React JS? What is virtual DOM? That's the first question which I usually ask, for taking the interview, in a React JS. Anyone? What is virtual DOM? Anyone have an idea?
We don't have any idea.
Okay, no problem. So, but this is how we're gonna discuss. That means if we started something, right? What are the interview questions which usually I'll ask? Okay, others also. Okay, so that way we'll discuss. Right? What is React JS? So, what we're gonna discuss as part of this course, as I already given you, some glimpse, right? So, first of all, right, React JS is a library. What is React JS? React JS is a library to build a single page application. What does mean of a single page application? What is importance of single page application? Okay. Earlier, right, we used to build, okay, so application which will reload. Nothing but let's say we'll go to the flipkart.com. Flipkart is one application which is built on top of a React only. So how you can get to know whether this application is built on top of React or not? Okay. We have a site called built with. Okay, what is that? Built with. You can go to this built with and you can mention any of a site. Okay, if you would like to get to know, so what are the technology which they used it, or whether they used React or Angular, right? You can go. Okay, now if you open a buildwith.com and here you can just search React. You see? Okay, that means so this Flipkart is built on top of what? Okay, React only. Okay, so not only this, let's say we go with the angular.io. Okay, so if you see, right, it's a built on top of Angular. Okay, in that way you can search which website is built on top of which technology by using which site, guys, built with. Okay, now we understood, yes, Flipkart is built on top of React.js. Okay, now when I click on a groceries, right, so immediately I'm getting a data. Okay, so here you show us a spinner, right? Okay, that thing, but what is happening, it's reloading. Okay, so existing website is removing from a DOM and new website is loading into DOM. Okay, that is what happening when I click on a mobiles. Okay, so you see again it is getting reloaded. Now let's go to fashion, click on all. Okay, even though it is getting reloaded, now when I click on this, okay, it's open in a new page. It's open in a new page. Okay, let's say when I click on it, do you think is it reloading? Is it reloading, guys, or it's getting a data from a from a API and getting render?
No, sir. It's not reloaded.
Is it reloading? Do you see loader
No,
here?
no, sir.
You don't see a loader. Okay, so that means when you build an application with a React, right, so your page won't get reload. Your page won't get reload and immediately you'll get a data. So we see an application, right, which you build it in our class. Okay, nothing but when you click on about us, you're getting about us data, which is not reloading. When you click on a skills, okay, you're able to see a skills data without reloading. Okay, how we are able to get, with the help of what, single page application which is built on top of React. Okay, you can build single page application by using Angular also. Okay, but what is the advantage when you go with React, that is makes differs from a Angular to, okay, so React, that is virtual DOM. In our class, right, we're going to discuss what is this virtual DOM with a real example. Okay, nothing but, so when starting an application, right, if you don't use a virtual DOM, what will happen? If you use the virtual DOM, what will happen? What is the benefit of using virtual DOM? That what will she, that one also, okay, that one also we'll see in our class. Okay, cool. What is importance of React at present of a moment in IT? Okay, what does mean, guys? So if you learn React, what is use? Okay, as someone said, right, we will become a full stack developer if you have a knowledge on backend technologies. By learning React JS, you can, okay, you can be as a full stack developer or you can be as a front end developer. But there is a one more use case, that the latest project whichever we're gonna build it, okay, those are, right, 80% of a project which we're gonna build on top of React JS only. Okay, rest of the 20%, right, it can be Angular or it can be Vue or it can be some their own frameworks, so it depends on them. Okay, so in short, the new project whatever we're gonna build it, those all on top of what, React JS. 80% of a project we're gonna start with React JS. Okay, why? Because it is a library, okay, which is again it is opinionated, nothing but being it is a library, right, you have a flexibility to build how you want to go ahead. Okay, so that means let's say I would like to follow MVC architecture or I would like to follow factory design pattern, so it's up to me. Okay, I would like to design my own project structure. Okay, as well as it is much faster than comparing to any other libraries. And one more thing, whenever we are trying to use a third party library or whenever we are trying to use the any open source framework, we need to consider one important point. Anyone please respond. If you would like to use a third party library or if you would like to use any of a tool, what is importance to you? Okay, let's say any of electronic product also. So product is good, but so you need something to buy that. There is a one more check also. What is that?
Security.
Security. Okay, any other point, guys?
Reusability of the code.
Reusability of the code, and as well as
Performance.
performance. Yes, very good points. Any other? Support. Yes or no? If you buy any of electronic gadget, if it is not working, so who will help you? Okay, you need a a support people, right? Okay, or customer care people. Okay, similar way, whenever we use a third party library, right? So support also important. Okay, so that is also makes, in a better point, okay, to choose, okay, third party library. Okay, so as well as, right, documentation. What is that? Documentation. Whenever I buy a new product, so I should have a proper documentation how to use it. Okay, if I stuck it somewhere, again I need some proper documentation. These two are, much widely available for React.js. Okay, because React.js is, supported and developed by whom, guys? Anyone?
Facebook.
Facebook.
Yes. Okay, so that means Facebook has a, very good documentation on React. Okay, they built a site called React Dev. You can go to this React Dev. Okay, and they are keep on updating, guys. Okay, earlier, right, they have a site called reactjs.org. Okay, earlier they have this reactjs.org. Later on, right, they built another website called react.dev. Okay, so with the help of detailed documentation, how it works, okay, what are the features of our new versions of React, everything. Okay, so that's the reason, right, we can choose React in a much wider way. Okay, not only that, so others or any of a company also recommending to use React.js. Okay, so how we can we decide? Okay, how can we decide is React is much better than, Angular or React, or Vue.js? Okay, that part also we'll see. Okay, what is the next question? What are the alternative for React.js to build a, single page application? As I told you, right, you can go with a Vue.js or you can go with the Angular also. Okay, these are the two alternatives. Okay, and next one, so what is the difference between library and framework? So as I told you, right, React.js is a library, not a framework. Okay, if you go with the framework, right, you'll get some add-ons to build your production ready application. What are those add-ons? Okay, so when you go with the library, right, so library will give us some set of a functionality, not for production ready, not for production ready. So that means, let's say, as I told you, right, we build a single page application. To build this single page, and React does not provide the routing. Okay, React does not provide the routing. We will discuss, guys, what is routing, right? That part also we'll see. But for now, right, just keep in mind. So what is the difference between library and framework? Okay, so when you go with the library does not provide you everything. It will give a certain functionality. On top of it, you need to add. Okay, so that means to build a single page application, React does not provide the any routing concept. Okay, we need to use a third party library called React Router. We need to use a third party library called React Router. But when you go with a framework kind of Angular itself has a one library called ng router. What is that? ng router. So that means framework are much better than library. Okay, so which will make you, production ready application from a starting day itself. Okay, by installing the Angular itself, right, you'll get the production ready application, but not with the React. Then what is advantage? Framework is giving everything, no? Okay, so why we need to go with the library? So what is the advantage, guys? Anyone? If framework is doing much better, why we need to go with the library?
For the framework, we need to follow some instructions, but
Ye-
library we can uh, design our own.
Yes, yes. So let's say you have a ready-made of a system, you can't change the rules because it's already defined the rules. Okay, when you go with the the library, you can change the rules however you want. Okay, or if you would like to go with other pattern or any other architecture, you can go ahead. Okay, that's what the advantage of a library. Okay, as well as when you go with the Angular, there is a no concept called virtual DOM, but in a React we have a virtual DOM concept which will make your application is much faster. Okay, so next question, what is difference between Angular, React and Vue? Okay, Angular is supported by the Google. Okay, again to build a single page application, and React is built on also built by the Facebook, again to build a single page application. Okay, Vue.js also same. Okay, Vue.js is developed by one Chinese developer who came out from a Angular. Okay, so the person, he is a part of Angular development team, Angular JS. So he came out and he started his own framework, okay, called Vue.js. Okay, but the problem with the Vue.js, right? It's only supported by one person or couple of open source community. The major drawback of a Vue.js, right? Support and documentation. Support and documentation. So that's the reason, right? In a market, so though we have a three, the fight between what? React and Angular. Okay, the fight between React and Angular. So at this point of a time, right? So React is leading in this, this competition. Okay, as I told you, right? 80% of a project we're gonna start on top of, okay, React JS only. Okay, how can we decide? So Venkat, you're telling it as per your experience is like this. So do you have any statistics for it? Yes. Okay, we have one site called NPM Trends. Okay, what is this? NPM Trends. So NPM we will discuss, okay, in our class, right? We'll discuss what is this NPM. Okay, but there is a website called NPM Trend where you can compare, one library to another library, especially from a JavaScript point of view. So you can't use this site for, your Java or .NET packages. It's for a Node.js people. Okay, or it's for JavaScript people. Okay, so now you can go to the NPM Trend and you can simply compare Angular, React and Vue. Okay, now tell me, so which one is good as per this chart, right? Okay, which one do you feel good? Which one is leading in the market?
React only.
React only. Now you see, right? Angular is a blue one, React is what? Orange one, Vue.js is, okay, the green one. Okay, so in a span of, so 2022 to Jan 23, there is a bit spike, okay, for a Vue.js, but later on again it is fall down. Okay, so this is one simple chart which is prepared by the NPM. Not only that, you see, so these are the, information which is given by in a GitHub. Okay, so number of stars, number of issues, the latest version. Okay, so and the size of a file also. Okay, or size of a library, if you see, right? So the number of a stars, what does mean of a stars? In a Facebook or any of a social media, if you like something, we'll give a like, right? Okay, similar way in our JavaScript point of view or in our real-time point of view, if you like the library, we'll give a star. Okay, how many stars React got it? Anyone? How many stars?
2 lakhs.
2 lakh.
12,000.
Yes. So how about others? You see, Vue.js is 39. Okay, 39,000. Angular is 59,000.
So
Okay,
in React only lakhs.
React is in lakhs. Okay, so even it looks like, more far better than this Angular and Vue.js. Okay, if you see the issues also, right? Though it is, a larger library, okay, larger library, so the issues also, right, bit high. But so these people are, solving a problem. Okay, whenever you have any question, right, if it is feeling not working, you can go to this GitHub and you can post your question. These guys will respond. Okay, what is the latest version? 18.2.0. Okay, so when it is developed, guys, 12 years ago. Okay, so before this Angular and React, before this Angular and Vue.js, right? React is, in a market. Okay, so before this React JS, right? Angular JS in a market. Angular JS in Angular is nothing but Angular 2, 4, 5, whichever the latest version. Okay, Angular JS is a 1x version, which is, older one, which is not using at present of a moment. Okay, if you compare the size also, which is, less sizer one, React or Angular?
Again React only.
Again React. Okay, now can we say React is much wider and much better to use to start application?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the reason, right? So React leading in a market, 80% of a project. Okay, we're gonna build on top of the new project, guys. Okay, not the migration project. Migration project, it's again on a, timeline and a dependency. Anyone, what is a migration?
Migration means changing from one form to another form.
Yep, one technology to another technology. Let's say your existing application is Angular JS. Okay, now you would like to migrate into the latest tech stack. Which one do you recommend? Do you recommend to go with Angular or do you recommend to go with a React?
React.
React. Okay, so we can slightly say React, but there is a many parameter which will impact, to meet your timelines. Let's say you have a timelines for only 1 week, not a week, sorry, 3 months or 1 quarter or multiple quarters. That will make you an impact, as well as right your resource capability. Let's say your resources are stronger in a React JS. So good to start with a React JS. But let's say your resources are good on a Angular, then how? We need to meet our timelines, right? In a real time, which technology you go forward, but timelines also very important. Okay, at this point of a time, so what we need to consider, we need to think about our resources. Okay, what is their technology, knowledge, and what is their capabilities. Okay, if we start a React, so how fastly they'll complete. If you go with the Angular, how quickly they'll complete, that is also matters. If your customer saying that okay, so we are good with the React, let's take some time also to make it a stabilization or to make it a better application, then we are directly start with React. But your customer is or your client is asking that, so we want the development project which need to be completed in a 1 quarter, nothing but 3 months or 4 months, and need to ready for production. Then we don't have a time. Okay, we need to see how our resources knowledge it is, then accordingly we can get started. Otherwise we need to hire a new resources, okay, who has a knowledge on a React. So these all things are makes, to make a deciding factor which technology we go ahead with the, from a migration. But when you're starting a new project, we are good, we don't need to worry about all of this. Okay, we can directly get started on a React JS again. Resources knowledge makes an impact, but you can ask your resources to get update, because by the end you are making your application which is, much better way comparing to the older applications, right? Cool. So is it good to learn React JS? Yes, because as you see the right all the parameters, okay, it's good to learn React JS. So in the mean, right? So is it good to learn a React JS to get a new opportunity? Yes. Okay, that means after learning a React JS, right now market is led by the React JS. You can get a good openings. Okay, and React JS. Now you can ask your friends. Okay, so who having a knowledge on Angular, who having a knowledge on a React JS, if they went into for interviews, how many calls they are getting per day? Okay, how many calls they are getting per week? So one with Angular, one with React, you can compare and you can tell. So as per my knowledge, right? So if you have a React, resume, okay, or you have a skill on a React, if you added in your resume, right, you'll get a more calls comparing to the Angular. Because as I told you, right, so projects, the new project which you're going to start it more on a React. Okay, good. So what are we going to achieve? Okay, so very simple, guys. So by the end of these course, right, you guys need to be, have a knowledge and at least capable of cracking an interview of 1 to 2 years. Okay, so 3 years is overconfident, because you need to do a lot of practice. If you guys are meeting the practice expectations, right, then you are good. Okay, so in short, we can put in your resume, okay, I have a 1 to 2 years of experience on a React JS, because everything we're gonna do on a real time, everything we're gonna do on a real time. Okay, so that's a simple. So by the end of this course, right, you're gonna have a knowledge on a React JS, how it works. Okay, so how can I start a project, how can I, if I go with a migration project also, or if I go with existing project also, right, how can I work on, right? So in that way you can get work on. Okay, yes. So are we going to discuss a real time use cases? Yes, everything is into purely real time. Okay, so we are not going to discuss only theory. Okay, we'll discuss the theory, then we'll take a real-time use case and how it works. Okay, that part, right, we're gonna discuss. Okay, what is the duration of a course? It's again as, okay, 2 months of a course. We stick to the 2 months, and we are open for, extending the hours, or extending the sessions also. It's all depends on you. Let's say when you ask me, Venkat, let's discuss a new project. Okay, so I want to have some experience on a project. So yes, I'm open for it. Okay, in a current batch, right? So we're gonna discuss, one use case. Yep. Okay, we are building a a real-time project. So we assign the tasks to different people. Okay, so they need to come up with, because we are discussing a project, right? They need to come up how the projects. Okay, but I'll give a input because we are almost done with the course, right? So give a inputs. Okay, so wherever you stack, right, I'll help you to solve a problem. Okay, so this how, right, we are going to work on. Okay, so in short, so it's a purely project basis, guys. It's not only theory, everything with purely on real-time use cases. Okay, project are built on React.js, as I told you, right? So we can go to the build with, and there we can see, okay, the list of a project which are built on top of React. Okay, in a market, so whatever the fast application, even not only Flipkart, Netflix, okay, or uh, many of applications, guys, even Facebook Messenger, right, which is built on top of React Native also. Okay, so in a Facebook also they use the React. Okay, you see, bbc.com also built on top of React. Okay, not only that, you see Kaspersky, so one of the leading, okay, antivirus. Okay, and OpenAI, so OpenAI and one thing that you might ever on the ChatGPT, that website also built on top of React. Okay, theme forest, so tiny URL, many of our applications, guys, okay, built on top of React.js. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, Venkat, I have one query.
Tell me.
Yeah, what is the difference between React JS and native React?
Okay, so React and React.js both are same. Okay, there is no difference on it. So but there is a difference between AngularJS and Angular. AngularJS is Angular first version, Angular is the latest version. Okay, that's a difference. But in a React, there is no difference between React.js and React. But as you had one more question, right? React Native. Okay, so React Native is nothing but which will work on a mobile applications. Okay, nothing but React Native. React is for built for web application, React Native for mobile application. And one more advantage with learning with React, right? So the code what you developed for the web, okay, if you build your architecture in a much better way to compatible for React Native, the same code can be reusable into React Native. 80% of a code, at least 50% of a code can be reusable into React Native for a mobile application.
Okay.
Okay, feel free, guys. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay, so we can
Hi,
discuss.
Venkat, Ashok this side.
Yes, Ashok.
So actually, I'm sorry, I missed first 10 to 15 minutes. So I have some query about that one. So currently, I'm working as a backend developer,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to learn this one React.js
Mm-hmm.
to become a full stack developer. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't have knowledge of the UI anything.
Mm-hmm.
So like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So we can cover this one also, or directly React.js?
No. So in our session, right, we're gonna start from a HTML, CSS, JavaScript, core JavaScript to advanced JavaScript, and then we'll start a React.js.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, but remember, so the major concentration is on what? JavaScript. Okay, because in a React, right, we're gonna use 80% of our JavaScript, 20% of HTML and CSS. Okay, when you go with other libraries or Angular or Vue.js, right, you supposed to have a knowledge on a 50% of HTML, CSS, 50% on a JavaScript. But when it comes to React, right, 80% of a JavaScript. Okay, I'll show you folder structure. You can understand. So if you see the folder structure, right, anywhere do you see the .html file? .html. Here you see
No.
.tsx,
Mm.
.css, .tsx, .tsx. So there is no specific file called HTML. Okay, why? Because in .tsx file itself, well, we're gonna write a HTML. Okay, so that's the reason, right? We will stick to more on a JavaScript. Okay, if you ask me, right? So in a day's point of view, more days we're gonna spend on a JavaScript. Okay, that doesn't mean that we are not going to discuss HTML. We will discuss. Okay, but in depth, right, we're going to discuss in a JavaScript. Okay, Ashok, clear?
Yes, Venkat, clear.
Yep,
Thank you.
we will discuss Okay, but we'll dig into more. Okay, how possible we can dig into JavaScript, right? Based on understanding, we can go in that way. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah. And another thing. Thank you.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, is it possible to cover the entire things in within 2 months period?
See, as I told you, right? So content point of view, I'll try to cover. Okay, because so we plan for weekend sessions also, right? Okay, so we'll plan for weekend sessions also, right? So we will try to cover, but if there is a possibility, right, we'll get extend. Okay, it's again based on your interest.
Okay. So within the
Okay.
Saturday Sundays period, you will take more time and then we'll cover it.
Yes. Okay, so Monday to Friday we'll cover the new concepts. Saturday, right? So if you stuck somewhere, okay, those concepts will cover. If you guys are good, right, so we'll discuss new concept. Okay, so Sunday is purely on a project. So whatever we discuss the whole over a week, okay, we can do a project. That's how the course.
So
Cool.
then how much time you are taking for completing the JavaScript?
JavaScript, right? So tentatively it's from 15 to 15 days to 20 days.
Almost 20 days from HTML, CSS, JavaScript.
No,
Right.
HTML is differ. Okay, HTML will see, based on your interest, right? I'll cover it in a weekdays or I'll take it in a weekend sessions.
Okay. So only
Okay,
JavaScript is 20 days.
yes, minimum of 20 days.
Rest of the React.
Rest of the React. Okay, so you can say 1 month plus is on a purely on a React JS.
What about TypeScript? How many days it will take?
See, days point of view, I can't tell specifically, guys, because
Okay.
but we'll see, what is a TypeScript, how it's going to work, because in a React project also we're going to use a TypeScript, right? So that is also we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so as part, if you ask me specifically days or a number of hours, right? So 3 to 4 hours is on purely on a TypeScript. Okay, nothing but 3 to 4 days on a
Okay.
TypeScript.
Okay.
Okay,
Here you cover TypeScript also, right?
yes,
Plus
I'm good.
JavaScript.
Yes, we're gonna discuss TypeScript also. Okay, any other questions, guys? Feel free. Okay, you can ask the questions. Okay, so accordingly, right, we can discuss. It's a more of interactive session, guys. Okay, so make it your voice. What is the fee for a course? Okay, fee for a course is what? 8,000. Okay, so again I'll post this link. Okay, join in that WhatsApp group. I'll share the content. What are the
Timing
content?
7:30 to 8:30 or 9.
Yes, 7:30 to 8:30. So sometimes it get extend, guys, because if you are discussing on some concept, right, good to continue. So instead of moving into the next day, right, good to continue. According to that, we will continue. But so our time 7:30 to 8:30. Any other questions?
What is the course code? While doing payment, it is asking for course code.
It will automatically get populated, I guess. It would be for a React JS, no? Course code, I think it's not optional. You can mention something.
Okay.
Or you can talk to our admin team, they'll help you.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question, guys? Feel free, you can ask. Okay, guys, so one more important thing in our session, right? Do a questions. Okay, whatever question, so though it is silly questions or important questions or high question, not like that. So try to ask me. Okay, so that I'll try to give a more insights of it and try to give a in detail of answer, because I'm a person, okay, where I'm having a lot of experience, right? If you ask me, I'll dig into more. I'll answer it in a much better way. Okay, so that's the reason, make it a more interactive. Ask me a question, I'll try to answer, okay, to clarify your question.
Venkat, I have one general question.
Tell me.
Yeah, one of my friend is already learning, is also working in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
But they are telling me so nowadays the calls are not coming due to the recession. Is it correct or not?
Okay, okay, so that's correct. Okay, so at present of a moment, right, the calls are very less. Okay, because so not only couple of companies, almost every company, right? So IT people are futuristic. Okay, when we are futurist, our companies are much faster than us. So that means they stopped, hiring. They're trying to manage the internal people. Okay, so that's a 50% of a companies doing it, but the rest of a 50% of a companies, okay, they're still looking for a good candidates. Okay, good candidates means, right, golden era of IT. What is golden era of IT in your knowledge? The last 2 years, right? We can call it as golden era of IT. So at that point of a time, you got a multiple calls, you got a multiple offers also. But now, so calls also moderate, but people are looking for a good quality of a people. The companies are looking for good quality with less pay. That is what the companies are playing it. Okay. Even, I used to take more interviews, but when I ask, the HR team, do you hire him? They're saying that no, his package is very high. Okay, and his notice period is also 2 months. We are looking for immediate joiner who has a less package. But the candidate supposed to be good, because so in a market, right, at present of a moment, many of our resources are available. Okay, now the filtering is happening from a company side. Earlier, last 2 years back, right, the filtering is happening from a resource side. Okay, so in short, your answer to answer you, right, calls are moderate. Okay, so companies are looking for a quality of a people who can balance the front end and back end at present of a moment. Okay, it's not only the whole year. By this December, right, you're gonna get a good calls, because companies, they have a budget, they stopped it. Okay, or they paused it for some time. How long they'll pass? Okay, so they'll get a new request from a customers, so obviously they need to go for a new hiring. Okay, and one more thing, right, you just need to think, huge hiring is happened in last year or before years. Okay, now usually, right, the data, yeah, the data shows that you need a 20% of a people new hiring in every year, but last 2 years back, right, they had a 60%. Okay, now they are balancing it. So by the 2024, okay, you going to get a good hirings. Okay, so every company, they pause the hirings, that's it.
Okay.
Okay, any other question? Priyanka, do you have any questions? Cool. So that's all for today, guys. So see you on a tomorrow. If you have any questions, you can post in a chat, or I'll there in a WhatsApp group. Okay. So you can see me as a Venkat CH. So if you have any question, you can ask me, and you can ping me personally also. Okay. So I'm going to share the course content in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Please join in that WhatsApp group. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. We will discuss over there also. Okay. That's all for today, guys. See you on tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.